Welcome back to the DFO Guild Acta Sanctum joins Xcom, and along with me is Mr. Heart, who I am surprised has not led a rebellion already.
Effort. Anyways, hello people, that's MrHeart24 to y'all. And welcome to Xeno Fighters Online, because I named it.
Yes, he named the playlist, and I appreciate that. Now we're taking on a large UFO. Early in the game, UFOs will laugh at your nuclear missiles, shoot down your interceptor, and then move along like nothing happened.
In late game, they'll still do that if you're being too aggressive. If you're currently observing the screen, I note the damage.
Yes. If half of your interceptor turns red in one shot, it might be too late, but hey, hitting the run button couldn't hurt. But before we see what just forcibly landed, we're gonna take a look at another crashed UFO that was much smaller, but still kinda thrashed our aircraft before it went down. And that's because this is a new kind of fighter added by the mod, which is an alien fighter, which is small but can still put up a pretty sharp fight.
Man, that's a whole lot of fighting from that fighter, as you described.
Well, they're built for it. It's in the name, so I guess it's not too surprising. On the other hand, if you can catch them while they're landed, they have two engines, which is pretty nice. Also, I forgot to bring smoke grenades.
He forgot to bring smoke grenades, so his thoughts are, I am blowing sand, soot, and explosive materials into the face of my boys is an effective idea for a smoke screen.
Oh, they're used to it by now.
I mean, it is in fact an effective idea. However...
Those are ethereals, by the way. And that shot is why you open doors with rookies in vanilla.
It's because you will be murdered. Remember, Murphy's Law of Xcom. Also, welcome to ethereals. The thing about them that makes them scary is not their weaponry or their accuracy, it is their psionics. With this mod he's using, if they gain line of sight, well, we're going to have a betrayal scene straight out of a comic book. Hell Hydra and all that such.
Yes, or perhaps a Final Fantasy game. Kane, not again! Also, let's not discount, though, the Ethereal's basic stats. They do have excellent reactions, firing accuracy, and they are not all that easy to kill, even though they're just basically a shriveled pile of non-functional things.
As far as I remember vanilla stats, the only things that outstatted them were mutants, and that's because they were designed to.
They were designed for battle. Also, even though that Ethereal took a Gauss rifle shot, it still required 2 stun rod hits to take it down. Ethereals are one of the few things that actually resist stun.
Hey Reg, congratulations! Finally Gauss rifle was non-fatal to something.
Oh yeah, well, and I didn't even plan that one out. That behavior last turn was really weird too. I think what happened is that it walked out and to the right, and since it never actually came into line of sight with any Xcom soldiers along those lines, it just kept walking even though it was taking reaction fire. Even in these mods, the AI has the problems, as we demonstrated by the Door of Justice.
The only thing sturdier than that door is somehow the back of basic armor.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure that they got a low roll with that plasma pistol.
3 shots connected. They all rolled low.
I think that at least one of them missed, though.
Well, it certainly didn't miss that guy. All of them down the plate, and he's out.
Yeah, that was the next line along the Gauss rifle tech line, which is the railgun, which is the strongest armor-piercing game in the mod, or weapon set. And this is something that I really like as far as weapon ideas goes. it is really powerful, but it's a bad damage type, since there are a lot of important aliens that resist bullets. However, anything that doesn't have a strong bullet resistance will completely get wrecked.
However, using it along with later in-game armors is actually a very good idea, as even if you're mind-controlled, your late-game armor has high bullet reduction.
And I saved after capturing an ethereal, because I figured it's a really important thing to do. And it's a good thing I saved, because I ended up in a really awful, yet preventable situation. See those reaction shots from kneeling?
Yep. Though if you guys are currently thinking, why are you justifying safe scumming, you're in the same boat I am.
Yeah, there are some people who have a very strong opposition to using the save files. All I can say to that is take a look at what happened last time.
My opposition is that no regs must go unharassed.
Now, taking 6 wounds is bad enough. I was really lucky that the raw damage wasn't that high. But now I'm not sure what to do, because I believe that there are plenty of time units left. Snapshots from a plasma pistol are not too time consuming. And the way to prevent this kind of situation from being really horrible... Actually, that's a plasma rifle, which is even better. They have amazing snaps, but I digress. If I had put someone with, say, a heavy machine gun or a sniper rifle behind my scout, I could have fired over it and taken out the alien no problem. Mission would have gone as planned, at least for the first turn or so. But I didn't do that, because, well, I forgot, I was dumb. And once again, I'm lucky that leading some kind of mutinous rebellion is too much work for people like my friend here.
I'm lazy. What can I say? However, what isn't lazy is these aliens.
They are really on the ball with those reaction shots today, and that's why I almost always stay in the Sky Ranger on the first turn. I do not want to deal with aliens facing us with a full turn to reaction fire.
I'm, however, waiting for an alien to lob a grenade right in there. And down goes the guy you used the health kit on to try and save anyways.
Yeah, and he was one of our best soldiers, so at this point, yeah, the grenade was really likely, and the mission was going just awful, so... Never mind, gonna try again.
Did you save scum, or was that a jump cut?
Why do you call it save scumming? I just call it reloading. Lots of people reload.
Like scum? Like scum at the bottom of a beer glass.
At least I remember to bring the smoke grenades this time.
At least I remembered to bring a slightly less chance of getting my face shot in.
Well, as you probably guessed from the large alien that we saw before, what I shot down turned out to be a terror ship. And this is great news because it saves us from a terror mission. And once you get the firepower to do something like this, it's really liberating for a lot of reasons. And this ties back to something that happened before. Now, since we've encountered ethereals, that means we now have the possibility that was a precursor to an ethereal terror mission.
Oh, you'll love... you guys will love watching those. Greg won't love playing them, but that doesn't matter.
The good news is, if I can shoot down that terror ship, that means I have the option of just letting it sit there and completely ignoring it, because since the terror mission didn't happen, there's no penalty.
I've heard someone's explanation be that the local government just bombs the area after a while to eliminate survivors.
Yeah, that's the explanation used for Xenonauts, and I highly approve of that method. Also, it looks like the laser gun cut the Reaper dang near in half.
However, let's go for overkill by eradicating its corpse.
Yes, because despite looking like it was in two pieces, it was technically only unconscious, and I didn't want it to just wake up and start mauling someone later on. But back to the idea of shooting down terror ships, there is a drawback, and I'm not talking about the repair time for your aircraft. You see, this is not like shooting down a few scouts here and there. Aliens are going to notice when you start shooting down things that are that big.
And they will be angry. Do not forget that retaliation missions are a mechanic in this game, and in vanilla.
Yes.
Along with shooting the underside of your own damn ship with the dart.
Yeah, now my ship is going to be asleep for a while. Now, base defense missions are potentially the worst thing that can happen to you in the entire game, because that's the only way to get your bases destroyed. And if all your bases are destroyed, you lose outright.
And even just the fact of having a base defense anyways will incur a lot of losses and property damage that you're going to have to hope you can pay off.
Because they don't send small ships to invade you.
And that guy took a dart in his arm and was like, what is this shit?
Meh, don't care. On the other hand, I think it says something about the Xcom community that base defense is one of the favorite kinds of missions, and people were really disappointed when there weren't any in the remake.
Lost opportunity.
Yep. And I think that people wouldn't be saying that unless they loved content that could just destroy them.
Well, need to remind you that we mistook a difficulty bug as the game as vanilla XCOM being too easy and wanted a harder sequel.
They gave one to us, all right.
They gave it sure right up your ass.
And that's where we got the graphic for the dart rifle.
Yep. Yes, you can tell. If you're familiar with XCOM, which you probably are if you're watching this, you can tell it's the same style as Terror from the Deep sprites.
Yeah, they tend to go for more, well, colorful stuff, especially yellow, and it's kind of an odd design. And the dart gun in this game and the dart gun in Terror from the Deep are similar in a few ways, mostly in that they're completely god-awful pieces of machinery. They're not accurate, they deal low damage. At least in this version, they deal stun damage, so there is some kind of reason to bring them along.
I think an F-Brawler does more damage.
Ooh, ouch. Oh, we have a lot of guildmates who are going to take offense to that.
I'd say fight me, but I don't like the PvP, but I don't do the PvP.
Yeah, also, while you can say what you want about them in PvE, F-Brawlers are, they are pretty punishing to fight in PvP. And
Reg decides I'm going to take out the side of a mountain. Well, not.
Hey, it's a smoke shot. It doesn't deal that much damage.
Oh, okay. Those are loaded with smoke rounds. Oh.
Yeah, they're great.
Oh, hey, sweet. Well.
Yeah, that's the practical. I beg your pardon. That's the practical reason to bring them instead of rookies as scouts. Because otherwise, of course, rookies are cheaper, and well. I believe your particular way of saying it was that rookies did not count as human beings. Is that correct?
I'm sorry. What were you saying? I was busy seeing how much C4 I could strap to one.
These are your guildmates. How can you be so cold?
I think I got to 20 pounds and then threw them at an ethereal.
These are ethereals, though, so they might survive. Also, I was rather dismayed by the number of 50% shots I missed here.
Look, I still hold that it's not accuracy that it's measuring. I say it's precision, as in how much the time the bullet will stray.
It's actually a lot it's very similar to what you described there. The percent describes a sort of cone that you can fire into, and of course the lower the percent, the wider the cone, which extends both horizontally and vertically, which is a nice touch. Which also means that at high percentages, even if you miss, you're not going to miss by much, so the likelihood of shooting a squad mate in the back is somewhat lessened.
That doesn't mean though, that means nothing though, as Murphy's Law of Xcom says you will always live.
Yeah, that law is something that people wrestle with for the entire game, and really the only counter to it is to not rely on any one or two shots to do what you need to do.
And never put your guys in the way of others.
Yeah. I broke that rule a couple of videos ago. I can only attribute our survival to luck.
Well, I mean, that's the same in DFO and Xcom.
You know, that makes me think about the now defunct version of DFO, which had permadeath, or pretty close to it.
Hardcore mode.
Yes. Oh, no, don't react fire with those. You have... They're not going to do anything. Although, I must admit, getting reaction fire skill practice is not the easiest thing in this game.
Well, if you're ready to sacrifice a few rookies, I know how to raise bravery.
Yes, well... Of course that's your solution. Woohoo. It didn't knock him out, but hey.
At least, and that one missed as hard as it could. It wanted to go to the moon, and by damn, it went to the moon. And you
that one went to the cactus.
You can hit a cactus, but she can't hit a giant green purple monster floating in the air.
That cactus was exactly what I was aiming for. You just wait a couple of turns. You'll see.
She would say that.
She would. Well, but I can't imagine trying to go for all these captures in a real terror mission.
No.
And yes, this is not the first time that my scout tank has been the target of an alien grenade. They apparently really don't like those cameras on wheels.
I'm gonna say this. One, you're lucky you put him so far away, and two, you are so lucky that guy with the grenade wasn't closer to the ship when it landed. I'm just waiting for an alien to lob a nade in there.
Yeah, well, that probably would have happened in the last attempt if I hadn't decided to give up right there. But last time, of course, this happened, there was a squad mate that was too close to the scout tank. I'd like to think I've learned my lesson since then.
Yeah, you can think you learned your lesson, but this is XCOM. RNG will make it happen anyways.
This is why you need to treat your scouts like they have some sort of horrifying contagious alien disease.
I just kind of treat them as disposables. And if you'll notice there, that is what happens when something does not have a sprite to accommodate what you're making it do.
Yeah, those 4-tile things are really not designed to be on terrain that has
Elevation.
Diagonals on it. Yeah. They're designed for terror missions, which have flat ground, and UFOs, which also have flat ground.
Reapers are designed for dying, as they're the worst terror unit for the worst ground unit.
That's an interesting claim. I would still say that the rank-and-file sectoids are worse than floaters.
No, because sectoids at a point gain psionics.
That's why I said rank-and-file. Leaders are something else entirely.
I don't know, because see, in a Terra mission, a sectoid would have the cyber disk.
Oh, yeah, well, cyber discs are something else entirely.
Like,
I will agree that Reapers are probably the least threatening terror unit.
Well, see,
although there is some competition with it for those muton terror units that just sort of wander around setting the ground on fire.
Actually, no, that can be very effective for a couple of reasons. One, cutting off paths, and two, if that fire hits a tile with anything on it, any of your gear or the alien's gear, that gear is just burned to ash.
Yeah, but you can actually cross those lanes of fire with no problem. The only thing that deals damage is ending your turn on a fire tile.
Yeah, but it still has more utility than a Reaper. And
okay, yes. The only thing that makes a Reaper threatening is if you face them early in the game in this mod, because you're not going to have laser weapons, and they are very bullet spongy.
That is their only effect. That is their only good point, is their early game tankiness. But my problem is sectoids at least have cyber disk. Floaters are just awful and a joke, and Reapers are also a joke. And one of my favorite bugs in XCOM is that you can individually control each tile of a full tile monster or alien.
Yeah, I noticed that Final Mod brings more one-tile terror units with it, which I appreciate.
What's funny is it starts putting full-tile characters into fields they weren't meant to be in, and yet implements implements one-tile terror units.
But after some of the grief that I got from these Reapers early on, it's fun to just shoot them down with rifles.
Yep.
They're just target practice now. Also, you may have noticed that I put down smoke further up to help keep my guys from dying as they approach the UFO. This is not something that I used to do. As with most things in XCOM, you learn the hard way.
Oh, you're gonna learn the hard way. And one thing I've always loved about smoke is, for the viewers that don't know XCOM, you might think that the smoke being denser in some areas is just a cute little graphic touch. No, that's an actual mechanical touch, and denser areas of smoke will give you better concealment.
Yeah, so don't try using just normal hand grenades to put down smoke, because it's very thin smoke and it's not as effective as you think it will be.
Definitely, but in a pinch situation, it is still something.
That is true. And there are a lot of pinch situations in XCOM.
Like this!
Like this.
Wait, you guys can't hit the side of a purple monster floating in the air.
These things do they even have iron sights? I don't think I see any in the design of the weapon.
I don't.
Which may explain why it only has 80% accuracy in aimed shots. Thank you. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
I think if they don't have iron sights, if I was the XCOM leader, I'd probably be implementing and I quote myself, mandatory daily slapping.
For those scientists. They need something that can liven up their day. The impression I got was that they're just stuck in their labs forever, or at least for the duration of XCOM.
Well, I'm sure they probably all have. If anything like this was to exist, they would have their hours and stuff, since they would all be individual contracts.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they work in shifts. Also, even though my ammo for these dart guns is limited, I still can't wait for my stun rod soldier to walk up, because again, I learned this the hard way. You can accidentally kill things that you want to capture when they wake up and start walking around drawing reaction fire.
I know, it's great.
On the other hand, I guess that's one way to increase your reaction skills.
Yeah, you can just mind control an alien and have them walk through. Oh, no, you mind control it, you make it disarm, you let it go, and then you watch it walk through and draw everything. Or you can just train them up on doors and go have fun. And one thing I'll point out that I'm especially happy with this mod is that I no longer have to use up my backpack carrying bloody aliens. Yet sometimes literally.
Well, if you want to abort a mission, then yes, you still have to carry them back to the Sky Ranger.
But at the point that you're able to comfortably stun any alien on a mission, I think you've effectively won.
Just because it's possible doesn't mean that things will go according to plan, though.
No, that's always with XCOM, but I'm saying is, if I could go around saying, "Oh, I'll just stun you," I think you're in a pretty good position, like you are here.
Now, Deus actually getting into that good position was pretty risky, because aliens tend to get a lot of turn units, and it was perfectly possible for the alien to go around the corner and shoot the guy while he was waiting in ambush. Thankfully, it did not go that way. And we have an alien who is not a red shirt. I don't actually know what rank it is. It's not leader because I saw two of them, but it's definitely not a soldier, so I'll go with that.
I definitely would call the floaters red shirts because they have those red capes on the rank and file.
And they do tend to die a lot.
They're just the weakest. Like, I personally consider the sectoids more of a threat.
Yeah, that's probably one of the reasons they were drastically changed for the remake. I think that was a pretty good job on their part.
They at least made them do something.
Yeah. They look more threatening, they actually get more useful abilities for mobility. I think I appreciate what they did there. On the other hand, I still really like vanilla just because of the sheer variety of things you can do and the number of ways you can mess up.
Pretty much. No, my girlfriend's the opposite of this. She loves 2020. She also loves classic, but her thing is still the remakes. I still prefer the classics.
Now, as you recall, I've had some problems with elevators. However, this one is not so bad because it leads up to a very small room, so there's lower chance of ambush coming from a place that I couldn't see from below.
I one time had a guy go up an elevator and then turn around, and there were 4 sectoids, all aimed at him. They weren't firing.
But, yeah, you have one shot, you better make it count.
No, I primed a grenade, dropped it to the floor, and said, well, going to hell, I go into hell with company.
That sounds like a dose of concentrated XCOM right there. I approve. Now, this shot that I'm taking upwards would not happen if the... Well, okay, terror ships never really land on their own, so... But I like the way this hole in the ceiling was added by the UFO crash.
I do love how they handled the terrain, even in classic XCOM, because when you got the power to start punching holes in things, you could do a bunch of neat stuff, just like that hole got punched into him.
Yeah, and the walls, which is the sort of thing we were talking about. I guess I figured the engine room isn't working anyway, so hey, what do you lose by doing that? Now you get stunned because you used your turn units. So that was 9 floater captures, which is not too bad. I think at least some of them will be useful. And, of course, since it's XCOM, we did take a loss, but it was a rookie, so no big deal.
What's a rookie? Oh, you mean the tissue paper. Right.
Well, sorry, Nux Avenger.
Oh, it was an Avenger.
Yep.
Doubly tissue paper.
Oh, ouch. But I think that's getting towards the end, so thanks very much for joining us. We'll definitely see you later.
You'll see me when shit gets real. Bye.
That's the idea. Well, bye everyone.